You cry at commercials, at songs you've already heard 100 times, at someone else's good news, or at a fleeting moment in a movie that nobody else in the room even seemed to notice. And because of that, you've probably spent years being told exact same things. You're too sensitive. You're too emotional. You really need to toughen up. And so you learn to apologize for it. You learn to hide in bathroom stalls until the redness faded, to blink fast, to look away, or to laugh it off and make a joke before anyone else could make it weird. But here is what nobody ever told you. The way you feel things, that raw depth, that instant connection, that absolute inability to stay surface level, it isn't a flaw. It never was. People who cry easily are often, without realizing it, the most emotionally intelligent individuals in the room. They pick up on micro signals that others miss entirely. They feel the heavy weight of an unspoken moment long before anyone else has even registered it. They carry other people's pain as if it were their own, and that is exactly why the tears come. Not because they're weak, not because they lack emotional control, but because they are fully, completely present in a way that most people have spent a lifetime learning to protect themselves from. Our modern world rewards emotional distance. It praises staying cool, detachment, and not letting things get to you. And so, deep feelers receive a damaging message early on. What comes naturally to you is a problem. But the science shows us that your tears are not a malfunction. If you're tired of apologizing for a heart that refuses to go numb, stay right here. This is where we examine the patterns that shaped you. When you look at the neurological blueprint of someone who cries easily, it becomes clear that this isn't a dramatic choice. It is a biological processing style. Psychologists and neuroscientists highlight 3 distinct reasons for this immediate response. First, advanced environmental processing. Research into sensory processing sensitivity shows that roughly 20% of the population possesses a highly reactive nervous system. Your brain doesn't just register an emotional stimulus and move on. It processes it thoroughly, analysing every layer of nuance, detail, and resonance. Tears are simply the physical overflow of a brain that is doing massive amounts of emotional heavy lifting behind the scenes. It is your body's natural release valve for an intense depth of processing. Second, hyperactive mirror neurons. Deep feelers often experience a phenomenon called empathic absorption. Your brain's mirror neuron system, the network responsible for understanding what others feel, runs on a much higher frequency. The boundary between your internal world and someone else's is porous. You don't just observe someone's grief or joy, your nervous system literally mirrors it. You aren't crying for them. Your body genuinely feels the emotion with them. And third, the emotional backlog. For some, crying easily over something small isn't actually about that small thing at all. It is the result of what psychologists call an emotional backlog. If you are the strong one in your life, the one who holds it together for everyone else, who carries the stress quietly without complaint, your system fills up. Eventually, a beautiful song or a kind gesture acts as the final key. It opens a door that you've kept locked, and everything that had nowhere else to go finally finds a way out. So, what does it actually mean when you cry this easily? It means that despite everything this world has thrown at you, you are still connected to yourself, to others, and to the living world around you. In a culture that actively teaches people to numb out, to scroll, to stay frantically busy, and to never slow down long enough to feel, you never stopped. That is not a weakness. That is a quiet, rare form of courage. It also means your body trusts you enough to tell the truth. Your tears are not a loss of control. They are your nervous system saying, "This matters. This is real. And I am not going to pretend otherwise." The people who never cry aren't inherently stronger than you. Often they have simply learned to slam a door that you have kept open. But behind a closed door, unexpressed emotions turn into resentment, rigidity, and numbness, and that cost far more in the end. If something in that breakdown just resonated with a part of your story, consider subscribing. Every week, we go one layer deeper into the patterns that shaped who we are. Here is what we want you to carry with you. Your tears are not a symptom to be managed. They are not a problem that needs fixing. They are living evidence of a capacity for depth that most people spend their entire lives running away from. The goal of your emotional growth is not to learn how to cry less. The goal is to stop being ashamed of it. Because the exact same sensitivity that fills your eyes in a quiet moment is also what makes you the only person people want to turn to when their own lives are falling apart. It is what makes you notice the beauty that others sprint past. It is what keeps you honest, present, and fiercely alive. You don't need to toughen up. You just need to be around people who are strong enough to handle how real you are. Feeling everything deeply was never the problem. Being told it was, that was the problem.